The NBA is absolutely horrified of this, as all the fears that opposing teams and fans have had about the New York Knicks has just came true, while also it's obvious now. It is absolutely obvious what Mike Brown has to do for the Knicks going forwards, while we also do know a lot more about the Knicks trade situation, specifically regarding how to add two veterans onto the team. When considering two of the young players, one of them we are going to see go between Mikal Bridges and Tyler Kolek, and we just got a huge update and a hugely obvious pathway to seeing who the Knicks want to move on from, and we are going to break all that down. Guys, there is a lot to go over right now with the New York Knicks. They finally, we are seeing basketball once again as they are back, and it is so exciting, and we have so many updates coming at you guys every single day, so make sure you're subscribed if you're part of that 57% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest. But with all that being said, let's jump into the video. There's a lot to go over on the Knicks right now, because look, when it comes down to New York Knicks basketball, we have wondered a lot about this team and what Mike Brown is going to be doing. One of the biggest questions throughout all offseason after Mike Brown got hired is, what is he going to do with the rotation? What is he going to do with the starting lineup? Who's going to be the sixth man? Who's going to be this? Who's going to be that? That's been one of the biggest questions. We know that the Knicks have one of the deepest teams in the NBA, especially if they can add on Malcolm Brogdon to the roster as well. We've seen Jordan Clarkson, a multiple six-man year of the a man who's won the sixth man of the year. We've seen Malcolm Brogdon, a man who's won sixth man of the year. We've seen Deuce McBride, a man who has looked like sixth man of the year. We've seen Josh Hart, someone who has been the favorite for sixth man of the year before when he was on the Knicks before the Karl-Anthony Towns trade and ultimately started. But now it's all clear. We see exactly what the Knicks are doing, and the NBA is absolutely horrified of it because now we have seen a huge player leap from Deuce McBride, and not only that, we know exactly who has to start. As after a game against the Philadelphia 76ers in preseason, we now have multiple updates regarding this Knicks team and what's going to happen, because Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride have just showed that one thing is very clear. We don't know exactly who's starting, but we know one thing. It is not going to be and should not be Josh Hart. Now, before I say anything else, I want to preface how much I love Josh Hart, how much I believe that he is a starting level player in the NBA. However, with this Knicks team, there's multiple starting level players who are just not going to be able to start games because the Knicks have so many of them already. So when we look at everything, when we consider who the Knicks are and what they do, the NBA should be absolutely petrified of all their talent on the roster, especially after what we were able to see from the Knicks. I mean, looking at today's starters, we saw Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, and Mikal Bridges as the five starters for this Knicks team. And what we saw in that span was a happier Mikal Bridges, who was playing within the flow and the style of the game, something that he wanted the entire time with Tom Thibodeau that he did not get. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns come out aggressive and draw a ton of fouls because of it and have a very nice game for himself. We saw Jalen Brunson struggle. Jalen Brunson usually gets hotter as the season goes along. Also, I'm just never going to be concerned about a struggling Jalen Brunson because at the end of the day, he's Jalen Brunson. And then the man who played the most minutes out of the starting unit, you hear the sirens outside, that is Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson went out there and absolutely balled out, putting up 7 points and 16 rebounds, cementing exactly what so many fans have wanted and known. The big man has to start. There is no more argument against who should be the starting center. That is why you hear those sirens outside. It should be decided. It is an emergency for every other NBA team because of how damn good a healthy Mitchell Robinson is. For the first time in years, we have seen Mitchell Robinson at full health, putting up putback dunks, getting 16 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds. That's just what he does. That's just Mitchell Robinson when he's healthy. We just saw that, and he was phenomenal. He played a half of basketball and put up 7 and 16. Who does that? That is who. That is who does that. We've been waiting to see this version of Mitchell Robinson, and now that we see it, it's obvious he has to start. We also saw Guerschon Yabusele play some time at the 5, meaning the Knicks, they're already experimenting with small ball. Why? Because we know Mitch has to start these games. We know Mitchell Robinson has to be the starter because the Knicks spacing, it didn't really fall off. Mitchell Robinson did get offensive rebounds. That he got one that created an open shot, and he got an assist for that as well. We have seen Mitchell Robinson go in there and be absolutely terrifying for opposing teams now. And when we look at the Knicks bench unit, we saw everything we hoped as well. especially from Deuce McBride, who played more minutes than anyone. Putting up in 21 minutes, the man was 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, putting up 12 points to go along with 3 steals, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. Deuce was all over the place, showing, yeah, I know you added a bunch of guards, but I'm still him. I'm still that guy. I am still the Deuce McBride, who the Knicks have always loved. Now, Josh Hart only played 7 minutes because he did hurt his back and got ejected from the game after slamming the ball in anger. So that's all there is to say about that. We know Josh Hart's great. I feel like me saying that is like anti-Josh Hart. I don't want this video to sound anti-Josh Hart. I love Josh Hart, and he's still going to be the 6th, 7th man with the Knicks regardless, which is, I mean, honestly, if you have Josh Hart as a 7th man, geez Louise, that is a stacked up team. But when it comes down to everything for the Knicks, we saw Deuce go out there and show, yeah, I know you added a couple different guards, but they're not better than me. I'm still Deuce. I'm still your guy. And I mean, we saw Jordan Clarkson play very nicely as well, took 9 shots, did what Jordan Clarkson did, and he scored the ball well, had a positive plus-minus, all the things we like to see out of Josh Hart. And one other thing to mention as well, when the Knicks went out there, we saw Ariel Hukporti appear in 6 minutes, and in that time, he got 5 defensive rebounds, 6 overall rebounds, also added 6 points to go along with it, and looked excellent. So not only can we think, oh, well, what if the Knicks are too small when they put Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup? What if the bench can't handle it? First of all, Mike Brown's going to know how to stagger the minutes between Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Second of all, we've seen Gershon Yabusele play that 5 already with the Knicks. Third of all, Ariel Hukporti is ready to get rotational minutes. The Knicks have a good 12 guys who deserve rotational minutes. This is insane off of last year where Tom Thibodeau played 8 guys. And honestly, there was nowhere near 12 playable guys on that Knicks roster. The Knicks fixed the problem that they had, and now they have the champagne problem that the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder had. There's so much talent on this team. How do you play all of them? There's so many great players on this roster. What do we do in the regular season? Well, I tell you what, we rest guys. We rest this guy. We start him when he's available, and then on back-to-backs, we give him the day off. That's what we have to do, because that is how we play multiple guys. It's how Hukporti continues to grow. It's how we see more guys step in as well. This is what we've been waiting for with the Knicks, and it all, at the end of the day, comes down to when it comes to the starting lineup, you could put Deuce in there as well, just based off everything he did. As Hot Hand Theory mentioned, Deuce McBride blows past his defender, holding onto his back, and a trick he seems to have picked up from Jalen Brunson. He finds Malcolm Brogdon, who hits his first shot as a Knick. Another bucket in the first 1/3 of the shot clock from the Knicks. So not only is Deuce McBride learning from Jalen Brunson, want to know what else Deuce McBride is doing? He's running an offense and doing it at the pace that Mike Brown wants. All of this just showed exactly what we hoped for when Mike Brown got hired as the head coach. Now, we look at 2-man lineups for the Knicks, and also when we talk about Deuce potentially starting, we do see him next to Jalen Brunson at the bottom here, where his net rating is a 6.9. When it comes down to it from last year's Knicks, we see a bunch of other guys. I mean, when Deuce is on the floor with OG Anunoby, a different starter, 11.6. When he's on the floor with Karl-Anthony Towns, another starter, 10.3. When he's on the floor with Josh Hart, who he'd be replacing as a starter, 7.5. And then when he's on the floor with Mikal Bridges, a 9.1 net rating. All the starters that are listed here, not counting Mitchell Robinson because Deuce would start instead. So say Deuce is one of the starters and it's the other main 4 that we see. So Mikal, Cat, OG, Jalen Brunson. Look at the net ratings. They're better than all the net ratings we look above here. Everything above 9.1 right here that we see from the more used 2-man lineups, all the ones with Deuce are better. Deuce and Mikal, absolutely excellent. We see it super well. Look at the most used team, or the most used duo. Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, 3.5. Deuce and Mikal, 9.1. We see Deuce and Karl-Anthony Towns right here at a 10.3. Josh Hart and Karl-Anthony Towns, 6.6. We see Deuce and OG Anunoby at 11.6. Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, is it even listed here? Yep, third, 2.7 net rating. On top of that, Jalen Brunson and Deuce McBride is at a 6.9. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, 1.3. I rest my case. Deuce McBride should start over Josh Hart. If we don't start Mitchell Robinson because he's out with an injury, rest, or if we just like him off the bench because the big man depth fits better that way, you start the man. You start Deuce McBride. He is that good. I know we'd be undersized. Deuce punches above his weight. Jalen Brunson punches above his weight. OG Anunoby punches above his weight. Karl-Anthony Towns punches at his weight, which is some of the biggest in the NBA. It will be fine. And if it's not, we plug this man right in and it works anyway. This team is stacked. How could you you not watch that game and decide, I want to apply to Digest Media to be a Nets creator? But also, how could you not watch this game and decide, you know what? This Knicks team is everything as advertised already. The NBA should be trembling at this. There is not a team that goes as deep through 8 players as the New York Knicks. Let's say that we do start Mitchell Robinson. So we start JB, we start Mikal Bridges, we start OG, we start Cat, and we start Mitch. The lineup I think this man's going to start in game 1 of the season. Say that all happens. Let's just say it happens. Off the bench, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. Pick the next one. Gershon Yabusele? Sure. Jordan Clarkson? Works. Should I list more? Malcolm Brogdon, former 6th Man of the Year as well. The 2 guys I named at the top aren't the former 6th Men of the Year that they have in Jordan Clarkson and Malcolm Brogdon. Also, let's say you start Deuce. What I'm kind of interested in seeing how it works in the 5 out. Off the bench, Mitchell Robinson, arguably a top 10 center in the NBA. After seeing what he does tonight, we might be looking at a top 10 center in the NBA. Off the bench, that is. Because when Karl-Anthony Towns is playing center, he's a top 3 center in the NBA. Deuce McBride starting, that means Josh Hart's off the bench. Man who could anytime win 6th Man of the Year if he's coming off the bench because he's that good. Jordan Clarkson, Malcolm Brogdon, Gershon Yabusele. Take your pick. I don't know if there's a team that's deeper than us 10 deep, let alone 8. Is there? Comment down below if you can think of one. I sure can't. They are as good as advertised. The NBA should be terrified. I saw one preseason game, and I guarantee, I really do believe this, in the bottom of my heart, this team might win the NBA Finals. They're definitely making the NBA Finals. They're making the Finals. This is a Finals level team. I think the Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals this year. Off of one preseason game, call it the overreaction of the century. I don't care. This is what we looked for. This is what we wanted. We made the conference finals with 7 guys and a worse coach for this team. We have a better coach for this team and the deepest team arguably in the NBA. If not, it's the 2nd or 3rd deepest. Probably, if it's not the 1st, it's 2nd to OKC. So, okay, I'll see you in the NBA Finals. Let's do this thing. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Knicks!